Hey everybody, for those of you who don't know, my name's Hoopy, and today we are working on a RZR 1000. And what we're working on today is we are going to be upgrading the suspension. All these springs on these shocks to the shock therapy. See on these front ones, they don't have any tender springs. And on the back, these aren't completely tender springs, they just take up the slack. So these are like single rate springs on these, and they're gonna be getting upgraded to dual rate. So I'm gonna start on the front ones, and on these front ones, it's just gonna be easier for me to just remove the shock from the bike. So on this model, I just pulled this little tray out of here, and I can get down in here to the top bolts. I'll get them loose, take the bottom bolts out, and pull the shock out. All right, there are a few different ways you can go about doing this. One is you can put some spring compressors on here and compress this spring. Or if you're like me, I'm gonna screw this loose. This will come loose enough, you can then just pull this cup off and slide your shock off, slide your spring off here, put the new one back on, reassemble it, and then tighten this back down where it was. Simple as that. I've got a big ass pair of channel locks. It usually makes this pretty easy. And like that, there's the old spring off there. All right, so in the instructions for installing this, it wants you to preset this at 2 1/4 inches, but I'm not doing that because I'm gonna tighten this down so that I don't have to put these springs on so hard. However, we do have to put in the rings that go around here, and they've got to be set at 5 1/4 inches, so we're gonna get those put on there. All right, so we got our little spacer thing on here and got our O-ring down in there where it goes, and that's supposed to be set at 5 1/4 inches. From there, I'm gonna start putting springs back on this thing. All right. Oh boy. Ain't no way. Okay, we're gonna have to compress this spring just a little bit now. Okay, so reinstalling these new ones, they're a little bit better than these old ones. So I'm gonna have to use some spring compressors on these. My spring compressors are some old school things, and I don't wanna scuff these up real bad. So I'm gonna put some rags on here. Wait till you see these Abraham Lincoln gems. Right here. Some old school stuff. I'm hoping that's enough to get that squeezed in there. Yeah, here, I'll go do that to you. Maybe, yep, and there we go. All right. They're old, but they work. There we go. Now, the only thing we've got to do is twist this back down to where it needs to be set at. So, I'm going to put it in the vise and crank her back down here. So it says that this ring needs to be set at 2 1/4 inches from this measurement here to this. So I've got to crank it down into about here. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it down tight and show you what it looks like. Just so you guys know, I got him holding this end up and spinning it with me because you're supposed to keep the ends of your springs 180 degrees apart. And whenever I was turning this one by itself, it was just spinning the tender spring around, so it's hard to tell where it would end up. But if you just hold that end of the shock off the table so it can spin, it's going like this. putting attention to it. All right, there you go. That there is the, that's the front spring done. And that's doing it with no special tools. Just, you can buy these at like AutoZone for $20 or $30, I think. You don't have to have a big fancy spring compressor. So that was the front ones. I'm going to put this one back on. We're going to go ahead and change the other one, and then I'll show you what to do with the rear ones. All right, on to this rear one. I'm going to go ahead and try to do these on the bike. I think I can. It should be easy enough. So I'm going to loosen up my bolt here, and then I'm going to go ahead and spin this off and get it up here nice and high. And I should be able to just pull the shock out and slide these springs out and put the new ones back on and put everything where I need to do it. So that's what I'm going to try to do. All right, upon straining my back, reaching up in there and trying to turn that down, we yanked it out, brought it over here to the bench, and we're going to use channel locks to tighten her down like we did the other one. I've even got a spring compressor on this to gain that 4 inches at the top of this. It's getting tough. I mean, I'm almost there. I probably got 3. But, yeah. Well, we got them all on there. He's going to move this thing forward and backward here and let the suspension settle. Get it down to ride height. There it was. We put the shock therapy springs on these shocks here. He's going to test her out later and let me know how they do. See if it's all it's cracked out to be. It's got to be better than that stock stuff, though. There you have it. That was that. So if you guys like videos like this, go check out the rest of my channel. Thanks for watching.